Peel over perfect, peel right down to the deli tab. I'm a pot of joy for a hungry boy, baby. I'm cooking with gas, so I'm a gumdrop. Sweet lollipop, a brook drop right out of a brook. And what more, baby, I can cook.
Oh, darlings, I can cook. Today's show is all about cookery and the female chefs who cooked them. Thank you for joining us for the big show. If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done. With Victoria Sautee. Well, thanks for joining me once again in the glittery bunker. It's nice to see you all trickling into the room. I love it. I love it. Today's show is all about cooking, mostly about some of this country's greatest female chefs. There's one of them right now. Actually, this photograph is called Smiling Woman Wearing a Chef's Hat. She's not a famous cook, no, but I do want to take you on a little tour of some of this country's pioneers in cooking, darling. Let's start way back when with Fanny Farmer. There she is. Her name is Fanny. I'm sorry, it's not a wonderful name, Fanny. I mean that in a kind and caring way, but that's Fanny Farmer. And back in the 1800s, she was born in Boston. And unfortunately, she fell ill as a young girl, but by the time she reached the age of 30, she was well enough to walk. And she decided that she wanted to join a cooking school. She wanted to be a cook. She'd spent all her younger years in her mum's kitchen, and now it was a time for her to learn how to do all of the wonderful cookery things that she wanted to do. So she enrolled herself here in the Boston Cooking School. That's right, it's in Boston, love, it is. And she was such a wonderful student there. They actually upon graduation, they made her the assistant director of the cooking school. Now, before too long, she decided she would make her own cookbook. And you see these cups and measures here? Fanny, I'm sorry, that's her name. Fanny was the first person to actually measure ingredients this way. Before that, your cookbook might say, a small handful of butter, or take a glass and fill it with milk. But that wasn't very specific. But no, she actually put measures to her cookery, and that's how she started her own cooking school. That's right, she started her own cooking school, and that was in 1866. That's right, she was quite a lady, Fanny Farmer, the dear. Now we can't possibly confuse Fanny Farmer with Fanny Farmer. One of them is Fanny IE, and this Fanny with a Y is Fanny Farmer chocolates, which were quite popular. It began in Rochester, New York, and it spread all around the country. There was a Fanny Farmer chocolate store just about everywhere. And unfortunately, they used other Fanny's picture on their box. Well, she'd passed away, and there was nothing she could do about it. But yes, the Fanny Farmer stores resembled another Fanny. There's a lot of Fanny in the show today. Fannie Mae chocolate stores in the Chicago area. That's right. Now, this next famous American chef, you're all going to know the name when I show the picture, darling. Of course you are. It's Betty Crocker. Now, Betty Crocker was a fictional character. That's right. There is no Betty Crocker. I'm sorry, but there isn't. Betty Crocker was invented by General Mills, a company, in order to sell their products. So they just made her up in 1921. And through the years, Betty, well, there's pictures of Betty. You can see how they've portrayed her through the years. A plunging neckline, uptight neckline, a bow tie, not a bow tie, a cravat, not a cravat, a string of pearls, not a string of pearls. But they've had to change with the times. That's right. She's not real, though, but she is very important to cooks throughout this country because of the Betty Crocker Picture Cookbook, which has sold 75 million copies over the years. It was written by the staff of General Mills. That's right. Because there was no Betty Crocker, darlings, was there? Now, of course, we can't talk about cooking without mentioning the French chef. There she is. There's Julia Child, everyone. Julia Child. She's from California. And when she was in high school, she stood 6'2". There she is. She looks a lot smaller in that picture, but she stood 6'2", she did. Now, when she graduated from school, she served as an advertising copywriter. And then she got involved in the Office of Strategic Services, which was sort of like the CIA during World War II. And while she was working there, she met a gentleman named Paul who became her husband. That's right. There's Paul there with the tie. And that's Julia. Look at her there. Like, oh, look at she's such a love, isn't she? Well, Paul introduced her to the world of cooking and brought her to France, where it was the first time she had tasted French food. She had a dish called Soul Meunier, and there it is. She ate that. Well, they took the picture just before she ate it, and she said that this food in France opens my soul and my spirit. And of course it opened her soul, because that's a piece of soul. It is. Now, after her dinner there, she enrolled herself in the very famous Cordon Bleu College of Culinary Arts. Now, while she was there, she met two other French chefs there, and they were writing a cookbook on how to bring French cuisine to this country, to America. And they thought, since Julia was America, she could be quite a help. Well, they worked on it for many, many years, and nobody in this country thought that they could actually get the Americans to eat French food. But in 1961, a brave publisher published their book, the Mastering the Art of French Cooking. There it is there. It's one of the most popular cookbooks that we've ever had. It really is. Now, shortly after that, Julia went on television to promote her show, to promote her book, and the television station in Boston, they gave her own show. It was called, of course, The French Chef. There it is. And it was on for many, many years. And at the end of each show, loves, she would sign off saying, Bon appetit. Now, Julia's such a beloved character. So many people have played her through the years. Jean Stapleton played her in an operetta. That's right. I think it was called Bon Appetit. And on SNL, Dan Aykroyd portrayed Julia Child. And of course, most recently in the movie Julie and Julia, she was portrayed by Meryl Streep, who makes a living going around portraying everyone. In fact, I don't know that you know this, but right now, Meryl Streep is working on a movie version of my life, and I just happened to get a quick photo of that. There she is. There's Meryl Streep playing my role. There she is. She's lovely. I don't know where she found those glasses. She's very talented, Meryl. She is. But let's jump ahead, shall we? Let's jump ahead in history and go to 1940s, when a lady called Martha Stewart was born. There's Martha. Now, she's from New Jersey, darlings, and when she was a little girl, her parents taught her all sorts of things like cooking and canning and gardening and babysitting. She actually, little known fact about Martha, she was the babysitter for two very famous New York Yankees. There's Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle and Yogi Berra. Of course, there they are. And she used to babysit their little ones. She did, and she was very famous for throwing those children wonderful parties. I suspect that's where she got the whole idea to be a party person. Well, when she was 16 years old, lovely Martha decided she needed to work her way through college, and she became a fashion model. Look at her there, modeling that fashion. She's so fashionable. She studied in college, she studied chemistry and architecture and art and history. That's what she studied all the time, modeling. And in 1967, she was out in the world working, and she purchased a home in Westport, Connecticut. Here it is, the old house on Turkey Hill Road there. She learned her love of restoring houses right here in this little place. And she actually started broadcasting her first TV show from the basement of that old house. She did. Now, while she was in Westport, her husband was working in publishing. And she was asked to cater a little event for the book publisher she was. And she did such a good job, Martha did, that they asked her to write her own book about entertaining. And she wrote the book called Entertaining. There she is. Look at again. She's quite young there, isn't she? Well, the book, became just one of many books that she'd published, and I own a great deal of them. I happen to have one of them with me. This is Martha Stewart Cupcakes. And as you can see, that she signed my little book there. She said, "Enjoy, Martha Stewart." Martha, if you're watching today, and I hope you are in a way, then I want you to know that I use your cookbook quite often. She took one look at me that day and she says, "You cook?" "Well, I do, Martha, I do." But from her books, she started working on her magazine, Martha Stewart Living. And of course, before too long, she got her TV series. There she is in her little kitchen, the same title where she would talk and just calmly talk to you about cooking and all sorts of things she did. She's still around today. Of course she is. She's got her fingers in so many pies, literally and figuratively, as you can see her right now on the Food Network and Bake Away Camp, where they bake things in Martha's backyard. It's quite a challenging little show. It is. Well, I want to see who's out there today. I do. I've been wagging such a long time. Let's see who's out there. Well, Barbara is watching from Milford, Massachusetts. That's right. Oh, and Cheryl's out there in Red Bank. And would you say you had one in Red Bank? I wonder what you mean, Cheryl. Emma says, "Betty, looking good in any style." I agree. I agree that, but there is one where she's wearing quite a plunging neckline, Emma. I'm not sure it's very good. Vassar's own. Oh, I wonder who that was. Meryl Streep. Yes, I thought she was a Yale girl. Maybe she went to both, the overachiever that she is. Justin's watching and quite a chameleon. Yes, that's right. I'm guessing we're back to Betty Crockett there. There's so many of you watching out there. Oh, there's it says Cheryl, but it's Amara. That's right. Hello, Amara. You are amazing. Well, I'm going to take a picture of this little thing and I'm going to read it as an affirmation every morning when I get up. It's nice to know that Barbara Byer thinks I'm amazing. I think you're amazing too, Barbara. This is all your fault. It is. And Michael's out there. Hello, Michael. He says, "I know Martha's watching with us in some way, shape, or form." She is. And Cheryl reminds us that Martha sells clothes on QVC too. She sells something in every store. She's in pet stores. She's in the Home Depot. She's in Staples. She's in everything. She is. Now let's go back to the show, shall we? We can't talk about cooking without talking about a few other pie and wait. I'm going to Martha for just 1 minute. This is my favorite Martha Stewart dish here. It's a hot crab dip. And when I make this for parties, it never makes it to the party because I eat the whole bowl myself, I do. But let's just take a moment. I want to have a shout out to some of the famous chefs who are on TV who really made the world a better place. like Jeff Smith, the frugal gourmet. There's Graham Kerr, the galloping gourmet. And of course, what would food be without the Food Network? They do so much. They keep me busy all the time. They do. They brought us chefs like Emerald and good old Sarah Moulton. Yes, she's out there and Bobby Flay, and everyone wants to beat Bobby Flay, and sometimes I do too, but differently. And then, of course, we can't talk about chefs and famous female chefs without talking about Betty White playing the role of Sue Ann Nivens, the happy homemaker on the old Mary Tyler Moore show. She's still around, that Betty, isn't she? She's a love, she is. Now, I'm going to show you a picture of a location here. It's a lovely place. And it's in Walnut Beach in Milford. It's called the Fig Cooking School. And we are so lucky today to have Heidi Lang with us, waiting to come on and say hello to you all. Let's bring on Heidi right now. Heidi!
Hey, Victoria, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm smashing. In fact, you just caught me while I was starting to make a little chocolate dish for the kids, something that they all can do home. It's called a ganache. And all we're going to do is put some heavy cream. Can you see that? And we're going to add some chocolate chips. Do your viewers like chocolate chips,
Yes, they do.
Victoria?
They do.
Do you
And
think?
if they don't, I certainly do.
I bet they do. I bet they do. So while we're talking, we're going to put all this, and we're going to wait a few minutes. And after that, we're going to have hot fudge this afternoon for ice cream, and even make truffles. So it's just something for you, for the kids watching to think about doing on a rainy day like today.
What's a wonderful idea. Now,
Hmm.
Heidi, how long has that fig cooking school been
Yeah.
down there in Walnut Beach?
So we have been here since January of 2018, about 2.5 years, and we've been in business for 11 years. So we have made hundreds of cakes and hundreds of quiches and stews for both the Milford area, and actually people come all the way from Rhode Island and New York and Massachusetts to come to our classes because it's a really beautiful place to be.
It is a beautiful place. I did pop in there once just for a quick visit. It was lovely. It really is. Now,
And
it's not a school like it. It's not a school like we think with like desks and chairs, is it now?
Oh gosh, no. The moment you come in, you get an apron, and you can see behind me, I have hundreds of thousands of cookbooks that we color coordinate just because we like everything beautiful. And
Yes.
You can take classes in beginning classes. You can take classes French, Italian, Asian. It really runs the gamut here. We also have summer camps for kids, which has been super popular. Of course, this year we're going to do everything virtually, but we're really excited to have the kids and their moms and dads who come in the evening when the kids are at home.
Wonderful. Now, Heidi, can you tell me how did you get involved in cooking?
Great question, Victoria. So like a lot of people, like a lot of moms and dads out there, this is actually my second career. Before this, I was a journalist. I used to be a reporter. And that's when I really learned my love for being curious about things, people, new stories, new ideas. I did that for about 20 years. And then one day I had my third child, who is Francesca. Some of your viewers might be wondering, why are we called fig? It's a fruit, right? Well, guess what? I don't actually really like figs, but I do love my daughters, and my daughters' names are Francesca, Isabella, and Gabrielle, and they are an integral part of this business. They help me cook, come up with ideas for recipes. My oldest daughter, Gabrielle, is a graphic designer, so all the beautiful things you see on our website come from Gabrielle. So one day when Francesca was about 4, I said, it's time to do something new, something exciting, and we should all ask ourselves, what's the things you love to do most? And if you can make that your career, like you have, Victoria, it's the best thing in the world, right? Isn't it just wonderful to get up every day, put on beautiful clothes, those awesome glasses, which might match my earrings, and go and make people happy. So I wanted to do the same thing with food. So I actually went back to school. I went to the French Culinary Institute. I learned to dot my I's and cross my T's. But mostly I'm a self-taught cook. I learned from my mom. Lots of people don't learn how to cook anymore from their moms because their moms are really busy these days having a career as well. So I decided to do that. And then I opened from my house. And we did that for a couple of years, and we got super popular. So we looked for a building, and my favorite town in all of Connecticut is Milford. So we found this beautiful building that's only not even a block away from the water. So sometimes people go to the beach before they come to one of our classes, and it's just a wonderful location.
Now, just walk me through how one would go about, and saying that you were open in the broader sense. One would come and say, "I want to cook spaghetti tonight," or would there be a different?
I didn't catch that last part.
Do you set the menu, or did they just walk in and say, "I want to"?
That's a great question. So there's two ways. You can come to one of our classes that you can find on our website. Right now, our classes are all virtual because of the situation, but the classes are just like when in person, just like you and I are talking in real time. We cook in real time. I have a camera on the food, and I have a camera talking to everyone participating. And in that case, just like our regular classes before we went virtual for a little while, the menus are already chosen for you. But there's tons of Italian and French, and in the summer we do a lot of farmers market-y kind of classes. Everyone wants healthy food in the summer. But there's another way, and that is you can have your own party. So we have special birthday parties, anniversaries, people getting married. Some companies have their employees come here, and we all cook together. There, we customize the entire menu. So, Victoria, what's your favorite food?
Well, I'm partial to all things Italian. I am.
Are you? I see. Well, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Lots of people are. So, you could say, Heidi, I want an Italian menu, and maybe we'll do a dinner in Rome, which is one of my favorite things to do. Maybe we'll make a cacio e pepe and some tiramisu and a Caesar salad. But we could do other things too. It could be so many things. If you tell me you love French food, or if you like a really traditional Italian dish, we can do that too, or something people often don't know about, something called sprissolona. It's a very special Italian dessert. You only see it in Northern Italy. You never see it here in America. So sometimes we mix it up and do something that's really easy. The key here is we want people to have fun. We want people to learn something, but we want them to learn just like kids learn the best by doing, right? And by learning, by experiencing things, having a good time. Well, we do the same here. By the end of the class, you didn't realize how much you learned because you were having such a good time. And then even better than being in regular school, what do you get at the end? A meal. So what could be better? So, and the same is true of the kids' camps. The kids love really creating something that they never had before. So yes, you can create your own menu as well, which we love to do, and we love to work with people to do that.
Well, what could be better than getting all your friends together in a little Zoom situation and cooking together and having a great time?
Exactly. So, and again, we're so excited because lots of people don't have much to do right now, and this is a perfect way of getting out of the house without leaving the house, and then you get to eat all the food yourself instead of sharing it with everybody else that's here. So, so we're super excited about that, and again, we love making special things, special requests from people.
Well, that's wonderful. I hope that everyone listens to what Heidi has to say and go on to her website. What's your website called, Heidi?
It's just like the school, Fig Cooking School, all one word, .com. But if you also Google the Fig Cooking School, we'll come up right away. Easy to find. You want to?
Wonderful.
While we're talking now, Victoria, I am now just mixing my. I'm mixing the ganache so that we can have hodge-podge sundaes this afternoon. I wish you could come and join me. Maybe soon you can come down and we'll have dessert together. How does that sound, Victoria?
That sounds just lovely. I will think of you later today when I search my glittery bunker for a little nibble of chocolate. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been delightful to have you on the show.
I have been looking forward to this all day. I told my family, I told the Fig fam, Francesca, Isabel, and Gabrielle, and my husband, I was coming, and they were all just so excited, and they're all actually watching right now. So hi, everybody. Hi, everyone in Milford. Great to see you. Great to see you, Victoria. Hope to see you again soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Oh, what a lovely lady. Yes, she is. Well, we're going to be back with more of Let's Learn Stuff right after these messages.
Now from Pantochino, take 1 yard, add 3 actors, and you get Pantochino Curbside, an original musical live in your yard. Perfect for birthdays, special occasions, or just for fun. Pantochino Curbside coming this summer. Details at pantochino.com.
My sister likes it. My older brother likes it. Mommy and Daddy like it. And I like it. It's not pizza. It's Pantochino Podcast. Ridiculously entertaining. Mini musicals for everyone. Listen now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Well, everyone, we're back in the glittery bunker. Now, this is the time of the day when we usually bring on my little friends, Dick and Jane. You know them from the book Fun with Dick and Jane, that fictitious sing-songy book that we all have come to love. But unfortunately, they're busy today, and they won't be joining us for the show. Ha ha ha! That's for Jane. But instead, I think we'll do something I like to call the match game. All right, we're going to play a quick round of the match match game we are. Today, all of our match game choices are going to be about cooking. Of course, it's a cookery show. Why wouldn't they be? So I'm going to hold up a little sentence. There'll be a blank space in there, and it's up to you to fill in that blank with a match that you think is going to match what I say. Now, the person who gets that is going to win one of my brand new little magnets for your fridge. Imagine having my face on your fridge first thing in the morning, or maybe you wake up at night for a little midnight snack and you say, "Oh, hello, Victoria. I know you're watching me eat something." Well, that's right. That's what you have the chance of winning today. I get all my things set up here. So remember, I know there's a slight delay, and I'll try to have you have whoever gets the match first be the winner, of course. And here's our first clue. Julia Child got into a big fight with Martha Stewart about cooking. It got so bad, they both ended up blank. Julia Child got into a big fight with Martha Stewart about cooking. It got so bad, they both ended up blank. And I'm gonna fill in my answer. Let me see my comments here. They both ended up in jail. They both ended up burnt. They both ended up drinking together. They both ended up covered in flour. They both ended up sauced. Oh, Christy, that could be a definitive answer there. They both ended up watching Netflix. Of course. They both ended up battered. Oh, Christine, I like that answer. I sure do. They both ended up having a food fight. Oh, that would be quite fun. I'd like to see the two of them go at it. I would. All right, I think we've come to the end of that little round. I'll show you my answer. Oh no, stop with the music, you. There we go. I'll show you my answer. They both ended up burnt, and I have a match with Michael. I'm going to write that down, Michael. You've won the first round. You have. Congratulations. Let me get rid of that comment. I have another one. I do. You know that I always have more than one, darling. All right. Here's the next one. Jane. Here we go with Jane. Who writes these clues? Here we go. Jane tried cooking dinner for her family. Unfortunately, she burned her blank. Jane tried cooking dinner for her family. Unfortunately, she burned her blank. I'm writing my answer. Oh, yeah. You know, this is the 20th episode of Let's Learn Stuff. How about that? All right. She burned her yellow dress. She burned Sally. She burned Burns. She burned her muffin. She burned her hat. She burned her hat. She burned her hand. She burned the biscuits. What else did she burn? She burned her big blabber lips. She burned her Bippy. Bippy has now become a catchphrase for Let's Learn Stuff, hasn't it? All right. Well, we'll have it be. My answer was she burned her house down. She burned the house down. Imagine how angry Mom and Dad would be. She burned her house. Oh, stop with the music. She burned her house down. How do I get that Bippy off the screen? Bippy. There we go. All right. Guess what? I got another one. We have time for another one. All right. Here we go. Dick surprised Mother and Father by baking a layer cake. In the middle of each layer, he put blank. Who does these? Dick was surprised Mother and Father by baking a layer cake. In the middle of each layer, he put blank. I'm writing my answer. All right, in the middle of each layer, what did Dick put? Jane! In the middle of each layer, he put Jane. glue, jelly, Jane, apples. I like all these answers. Apples. Rainbows and sunshine. Aren't you in a good mood today, Justin? Put cement. They put cement in there. No, this is Dick. Dick's a nice boy. He is. He put meat. He put meat. Figures Dick would put meat. A piece of dirt. Oh no. Well, I'm gonna show you my answer because we've run out of the music there. It's probably gonna replay like it always does. In the middle of each layer, I wrote he put frosting because he's a good boy, Dick is. He put frosting in the middle of each layer. Nobody matched me on that round. Should we do one more? I don't know that we are. Should we? Does anyone raise their hand for another round, or should we just? Yeah, let's do one. Just one more though. Just one more. Just one more. Okay, here we go. We're going to do one more round. So this, I have a couple of them here to choose. We'll do this one because it is food related, darlings. Another round. Thank you. We have one more. We have another round. Thank you, my super fans out there. More. Yes, isn't that what little Oliver Twist said? Please, I want some more. Well, I'll give you more. I will because I'm the bumble. All right. I know my musical theater, don't I? All right, here we go. Here's the last one. It says, waiter, there's a blank in my soup. Waiter, there's a blank in my soup. Oh. Oh, okay. I know what my answer is going to be because I'm nostalgic. Waiter, there's a blank in my soup. What's in my soup? There's a fly in my soup. Well, yes, there always is one, isn't there? There's a drag queen in my soup. Oh my goodness. There's a canoe. That's a big bowl of soup. A hare. I found that. I found a Band-Aid once. There's a unicorn. There's a sequin. There's a bug. There's a bug. There's a potato. Wouldn't if a Marie Callender baked soup, there'd be no potatoes in it. It would be very unusual if they found it. We have what else? We have a unicorn in my soup. A bug in my soup. Oh, I'm just an old soul here. I don't know that anyone's going to get my little reference. I don't know. You might. Someone still might. I'll let this jazzy music play. I'll actually lip sync to it, shall I? That's me lip sync. Oh, we've run out of time. We've run out of music. So I'm going to tell you what my answer is for that. My answer was, waiter, there's a girl in my soup. It was an old Goldie Hawn movie called There's a Girl in My Soup. Does anyone remember that? Does anyone remember Goldie Hawn? Well, we've had one match today, and that's Michael. Michael, you've won this. You've won this game before, haven't you, darling? You have. Yes, that's right. You have, love. Well, good for you. And we'll play more games, and we'll do more things. We'll explore more. We'll learn more stuff all next week. I want to say, let me see. If I have it. Yes, I want to give, before we go, I want to give a happy birthday, a happy 5th birthday to our fan Violet, who's there in her snappy Victoria Sautee shirt, and she looks lovely there. You have a wonderful day, Violet, and I want you all to do me a favor and be good. Wash your hands, put on your little face mask when you go outside, and be good for your mum and your dad, and for goodness sake, let's be kind to each other. I can't wait to see you next week, darling, right back here in the glittery bunker when we learn more stuff.
If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done. With Victoria Sautee.
As Julia Child would say, bon appetit!